Welcome to the No Streetlights podcast. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Tim. We'll be engaging in vulnerable conversations every Friday to shine a light on what we've been through,
How it changed us, and what we learned. We want to encourage societal growth towards kindness through understanding.
These conversations and the associated language can be triggering.
Listen at your own discretion.
But please reach out if we need to be doing something better.
So, let's take a breath, relax, and be welcome.
Oh, man. What an exciting second season we had, Aaron.
I am so stoked that I am exhausted.
Yeah, I feel like I've been ran through, one of those conveyor belts that they use at like toy assembly factories. And it's like they're constantly poking and prodding you and putting new toy pieces on you and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I went through one of those in reverse.
So they took toys away from you,
Yeah, dude.
unpoked and prodded?
Bro, have you ever been unpoked?
I think I have been now.
Yeah, it's annoying, man. First they got to poke you, then they got to unpoke you in order to take that poke back. It has to happen. So, but yeah, man, season 2 was a lot. And, we're diving into season 3 now. We're about at our halfway mark.
This is episode 5, so you finally convinced me to tell our people what season 3 is, since we're only 5 episodes in.
Yeah. So we're not really halfway through, but
Yeah, we're actually in it now.
Yeah, we're in it. But yeah, man, I mean, we've talked to so many people the past season and a half, and God, I feel like I've learned a lot.
Should we just start at the beginning?
Dude, yeah, let's fucking rock it.
I mean, we started with Pookie, where we realized we're all doing the same thing. So how do we get to what's next?
And then my lovely wife showed up for an episode, and she was able to tell us about the trials she's faced and how she's overcoming them. An inspiration to me.
A lot of
the
people
least.
were touched by that episode. We had
Absolutely.
a lot of people reach out, and almost every guest we've had since has said, like, I listened to Brittany's episode and realized you guys were really here for it.
I was going to say, we really touched on some heavy stuff in that episode. And then what I find, Aaron?
Then you found our first podcast crossover outside of our friends.
Yeah.
We've worked with Jason, we've worked with Kirsten, your sister-in-law, and Katie, an extension of your family. But this was kind of the first person that was in no way, shape, or form affiliated with us. We just found this podcast. Recovery is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, no, you're right. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it is fucking awesome. Come on in and tell us all about why it's awesome to you, so people can hear it from multiple sides, Mike was incredible. I love talking with him. I still love talking with him.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to also, not lucky, I'm sorry, but we had the opportunity to guest on his episode or on his show as well. And that was really nice.
Yeah.
I think my mic was a little too quiet, unfortunately, so I could barely hear myself, but that's okay.
And after we got too quiet, we brought things up a notch with Leon in A Fitting Friend, because metal.
Yeah, my personal favorite kind of music.
Deep metal.
But it was really awesome to talk with Leon again, man, because we've known Leon for, just short of 20 years. So I've known you for like 20 years now. I think I've known Leon for like 16, 17 years. I think I met him when I was about 14, 15.
The thing that really touched me about this episode is we were just talking about the way it is, and we just used music as the common language.
Yeah.
We just used that nomenclature, and we talked about reality through that medium.
Yeah.
So we touched on all aspects of life, and occasionally went.
It was pretty awesome too, because we got to see the extreme side too. Like we went from Katie's music, which is mellow, kind of vibey, to Leon's music, which is a great way to express your inner emotional turmoil, and it's a great outlet for Leon to be able to express himself.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was such a great episode, and it was really nice to have Leon on. Leon on.
And yeah, one of the things I really took away from that episode was him talking about having to have a blow off valve. Like you've got to be able to release that stuff that we take with us and we experience every day.
Yeah.
And that was really something we talked about all of season 2.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy too because and putting a pause on talking about the episodes themselves, every single time we would sit down for a conversation for an episode for season 2, I felt like we were just saying the same things, man.
Yeah.
We were cycling back to the exact same thoughts, the exact same feelings, your epiphanies. It's pretty awesome.
It was also incredible to me because it felt like one story.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like we had the same conversation 16 times. It felt like we started at episode 1 and traveled through this amazing journey with tons of great people who were like, "Okay, here's what's next." We're like, "Okay, I see that you're dealing with this. Here's what I know about it."
Yeah, that's really interesting when you put it that way because season 2 does kind of feel like we started drawing out a map and every single episode progressed that map further and further until we had an entire fucking full picture in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the artwork, little, foreshadowing here. The artwork for season 2, man.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I'm not going to spoil anything on this episode, and who knows, it's probably already out by the time this episode drops anyway.
Our shirts.
Shit. Our shirts, man. Yeah. So they finally started shipping out now.
Yeah, it's the end of Jan.
Yeah, I got a couple photos from your mom sent me one. My friend Chris sent me one. They all got their email showing that their shipment has been or their order has been shipped out. And I was like, oh, it brought just so much warmth to my heart, man, because your mom was super excited. My friend Chris was really excited. I just, damn, dude.
Yeah. They shipped out all the black shirts because they didn't have to do the dyeing, and they were like, "Okay, Shane's almost back." So Sarah hit me up, said, "Hey, I just did all the black shirts. They look amazing, so I'm gonna go ahead and ship them out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hell yeah,"
Yeah.
because we weren't expecting anything until February.
Yeah, man. And the fact that people are able to start getting it and start wearing it now, right in time for season 3 to start, too.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
Just wait
I
till they
love
see the
that.
logo, man.
Oh
It'll
my
definitely be out
God.
by now.
Yeah, it's going to be out. But I mean, as of recording this, nobody's gotten the chance to see it yet. Oh my God. It's beautiful. It's so good.
I have to spoil it. In season 3 logo, we're wearing our Trinidad tees. So if you've got a shirt, you're part of the team.
Yeah.
That feels incredible to me, like, in my heart and soul,
You get to actually wear what we're wearing in our logo. I love it.
dude. And our logo on our shirts featuring our logo. I start to what's the movie where they keep Inception.
Yep.
Yeah, we just keep going one layer deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't go too deep. Before we continue talking about episode 5, let's talk about our lives a little bit up until this
Mm.
point.
Mhm.
Because I feel like we've had some major things happen in that time frame. Like 11, let's see here. So October 20th to November 10th. And I mean, we recorded the episodes before those dates, but
Mhm.
man, one major thing that happened was the end of my 100-day body transformation journey that I started in August. Unfortunately, it wasn't as transformative as I thought it was going to be. I felt really good. I was really glad, and I found the love for running during that challenge.
Mm. Okay.
Since then, I've chilled a little bit on the food, and now I just I've been enjoying myself a little bit more. I think I took a victory lap or 3, and then on top of
Yeah.
that too, immediately after it was over, I had my Thanksgiving trip to California to spend time with the family. So you guarantee all that holiday food, man.
It's like Trail Rated. They talk about how they hiked for 6 months until the holiday season, and then we're like, "Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah.
God, thank God.
So you gotta cut back, and now you're building back.
Yeah. And before my journey, I hated running. You know, I could not stand it. Every year, the Navy would be like, "Hey, you got to run a mile and a half," and I'd be like, "Nah, I'm gonna go bike it."
Yeah.
And nowadays, though, man, like I love running. I found a passion for it. I felt so good from running to the point where Brittany and I actually have a marathon that we signed up for. That's going to be coming up in on March 17th.
Damn, that's close.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. We did a 12K up Mount Vesuvius. By far one of the fucking hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I can run a 12K, no problem now. But once you put it up a hill, dude, oh my
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk about that pretty recently too.
God. Yeah, dude, I was in so much pain. I've never been that angry in recent memory. I hated it. But I got my first ever fucking medal for completing something.
Man, a lot of people have been asking me about, like, my trophies and shit,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about that stuff. I wanna be the champion of right
Yeah.
now." Yeah. I don't say that to minimize your accomplishment, but, dude, now you're doing a marathon, so you're not resting on your laurels.
Nope.
You're like, "Hell yeah. I fucking can, so let's go."
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to walk a decent bit of that marathon.
It's really far.
It's a far fucking
It
walk,
is
man.
so far.
It's 42 kilometers or something, 44 kilometers. I'm like, oh my God, man.
Yeah, they would stop me and be like, "Bro, you can't just have rollerblades on." It's like
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video recently of somebody who did a marathon in Heelys, and I immediately thought of you. Dude, your internet is cutting bad. Like,
I know, I've been watching. I'm gonna step out, I'll unplug some shit. I also just turned off the small heater for our guest cats, so
ooh,
it'll actually be quiet behind me now.
nice. Speaking of guest cats, what's up with that?
What was it, around Christmas time? A good friend of yours reached out and said, I think it was something to the effect of, "The person I was with, we're no longer together. They're leaving the house, and they said they're not gonna continue to take care of my cats." So, just through natural conversation, we were speaking, and I said, "Oh, well, I'll just go get their cats then." So we did that. We already had a Christmas trip planned to go down to Cure Beach, North Carolina. So I just spent Christmas Eve driving from the top of North Carolina to the bottom of South Carolina to get some cats. I managed to liberate those cats from there's Sammy, from their situation. And
Yeah.
in April, I'll be coming out to see you in Italy, and I'll be bringing them along so they can get back to their mother.
You know, it's fascinating that you bring that up because that's going to be the first time we're going to be able to record together in the same fucking room, dude.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Um,
Is that legal?
we'll have to check into the LLC documents and actually make sure that we have a clause stating that we can do that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check
We'll have to double
the
check.
files.
Mhm.
That's another exciting thing. Around the end of the year, we finally bit the bullet and did all the LLC stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We officially are an LLC.
Yeah. They just charged me $100 to do our taxes, even though we don't have any taxes to be done. Unless the government's going to give us a bunch of money for spending a couple grand getting legit. That would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, now that we officially own an LLC, we could apply for business loans, but I'm good. I'm good. I don't want another loan in my life.
That is dumb.
Yeah. We officially got to start our own business, man. Like did you register us as No Streetlights or No Streetlights Podcast LLC?
I think it's No Streetlights Podcast LLC because that is the core of
What we do. Yeah.
even as we make merch and
Well, hell, we even call ourselves NSLP for short. Whenever we get to 2.5 pivot,
Mhm.
that episode had a lot of good stuff in it. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
yeah, following this story it kind of gave us a plan for moving forward. Devon talks about letting the law of attraction work for you. Understand and look for as many opportunities as you can and see which one's correct.
Yeah. He did a really good job at explaining that to me.
We've let that happen again so far. We just let our guests come to us. You know, our wives have sent us some people. Our friends have told us to reach out to other creators. I'm sending out emails every day like, hey, I've got a collab opportunity. If you want to work with us, here's what we're about. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, we've gotten lucky. We still don't have Hobo Johnson reaching out to us, but
He will soon.
soon. We'll talk soon. Our people will be talking to his people.
No, I will talk to him. Yeah.
Aaron, I said our people. That's you.
Yeah, fair. After 2.5, we got into 2.6, which is what we're doing now, one episode earlier, which is recap. We're talking
Yeah.
about season 2 and season 3.
And honestly, the recap 2.6 was really good. I felt like we did touch on a lot of important things that we had learned through our journey in season 1. And I feel like we've continued to improve on those things that we've already talked about and mentioned. But I don't really want to stay on 2.6 too much, because I don't think there's
Yeah.
a whole lot to talk about that we didn't already say in that episode. So what did we do for 2.7, Aaron?
We brought back Chaz. It was our first ever repeat guest, and we were blessed enough to have Mr. Chaz feel so inclined as to come back and spend more time with us. So he talked about conscious discipline some more and assertiveness in particular, which is one of their 5 core principles or what have you, or practices.
Yeah. And I really liked that we got a chance to redeem ourselves with Chaz
Oh my
because
God.
our original episode with him, man, the audio is just, it's shot to hell.
Yeah.
But, we've learned so much moving through our journey here.
And when I spoke to Chaz over this Christmas holiday down in North Carolina and then South, he doesn't typically listen back to his episodes. And I get that as somebody who has their own podcast and is making content. I spend so much time with the episode. Once it comes out, it would be nice to not listen to it again in a way, to just be like, okay, you guys have it. Do what you want. But I do feel compelled to listen to our product because if I'm not listening, why would anyone else?
Yeah.
So some days on a release, we've had people still catching up and we get one listen on release day. And that's me every fucking time. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning or 8:30 or 10 if I'm sick and I hit play. That's the first thing I do. People are like, "Hey, can we?" No. No, we cannot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm listening to it on Apple Podcasts, so keeping us afloat over
Oh,
there.
no. Yeah, 1 and 1 every
1 and
Friday
1.
at least.
Damn straight.
After Chaz, where did we go, man?
2.8. My personal favorite episode out of season 2, I think.
You're saying that because of the analytics.
No, I think it's my personal favorite episode, but the analytics are fucking phenomenal on that episode too.
Amber Kesterson, who
Yep.
grew up where we grew up, and then had the unfortunate occurrence of realizing that someone's love that should have been unconditional was very conditional.
Yeah. Her story is really sad, and it kind of hits home for me too because I know my brother was terrified of coming out and talking about his sexual identity because he was worried that he was going to get shunned from the family. And as much as I would like to say that he doesn't have to deal with that kind of stuff anymore, I'd be lying because recently my mother was invited to a cookout and she wanted to bring Justin. And the people who were running the cookout said, "We don't let their kind here." Referring to him being gay. Like, are you serious?
Or a drag performer or
No, they didn't know about that part. They just didn't want him to go because he was gay.
because he was part of the community.
Said they don't associate with them and they don't like them in their house. And I was just fucking mind blown about that.
Yeah, I can't believe that level of hate still exists and fear, honestly.
Yeah.
People just afraid of what they don't understand.
Yeah, and it's such a bummer too because like and I know this is not always the situation, but it probably plays a part in this one and I know Amber touched on it too. A lot of it has to do with like religion. People kind of use their religion to allow those kind of negative emotions to propagate. It's like a blanket, like a security blanket, that they use to hide.
I think more than just saying it's the church, I think it's more saying the community they've surrounded themselves with or the echo chamber is just hard right. So instead of sitting with it and saying, "Do I still love my daughter even though they love people in a way that I don't fully understand, but is really none of my fucking business what my child does in the bedroom?" Instead of just sitting with that and realizing, "Oh, well, my relationship with my daughter is far more important." They let the people around them dictate, "Oh, well, if she's a sinner, you gotta cut her out of your life. A bad apple ruins the whole bushel" type BS, not
Yeah.
the real teaching of love. We're not in charge. We're
Yeah.
not here to judge. We are here to do our best and help each other, love each other.
I lost I didn't lose my audio or anything, but Lilith fucking knocked my screen
Yeah,
out.
cats, man.
Yeah,
Today
they're
is
funny.
a
We love
Murphy's
them.
episode. What can go
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah. And it
We're
will.
about to
Fuck, dude. Am I
find out.
Lilith, please stop. She's rolling around on my
During this
desk.
time, I was really having a lot of spiritual revelations and really having just this profound experience. So our next guest was kind of an extension of that. It was my friend Micah from Violet Flame Reiki, who became an Usui Reiki master and also incorporates Violet Flame Reiki to be the yin to the yang. And we got some pretty wild experience with that.
Yeah, the Reiki concept was really cool. I learned something new. I never heard of it before either. And then it cycled back to the idea of getting into your parasympathetic nervous system
Hmm.
and learning how to relax and digest
Yeah.
better. I thought that was incredible. And also the way she talks about her practice, you can tell she's very passionate about it and it means a lot to her and that she's very happy to help people. And I think that's just incredible, man. Reiki is definitely really cool.
On that note, it was pretty phenomenal to talk to Micah because there was no pretense. She wasn't trying to be anything. We would ask a question, she would sit there and think about it, and then give her best answer that was true from her experience.
Yeah,
She wasn't trying to be witch talk, this or that. They were just their authentic self.
right. Yeah. And it was really nice being able to talk with Micah.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot of fun in that episode.
Mhm.
Speaking of fun, though, oh boy,
Oh my god.
210,
Yeah.
man, 210.
Yeah, we decided to have Christmas come early.
And we decided to have a little fun with the idea of a crisis happening.
Yeah, so we totally stepped away from our rigs where we feel comfortable and in control and
Yeah. Our place of business, Aaron.
Jesus, yeah. This is my fortress.
Yeah. As my wife said, this is where I keep all my farts.
And those farts are ours.
Yeah. I don't like sharing those things. Nah, I'm just kidding. I share my farts with my wife all the time.
Oh yeah, same. Better out than in.
Yeah, better out than in. Got to get a Shrek reference in every now and then, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Merry Crisis. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to record. It was just a blast, man. And I could definitely tell that the girls, the wives, had fun too.
Yeah. I think we can sort of pass over this episode pretty quickly because it was just a fun time.
Mhm.
Us talking with our wives.
Letting them run the show.
There's plenty of reason to dive back in and listen to the episode
Yeah.
because there is a lot that you're going to see and learn, especially just hearing the love. I think that'll make a lot of people feel at home
Oh
and
yeah.
kind of give them a template for like, oh, I should just feel totally relaxed and be able to talk to my partner like they're just a normal person.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than the experience, I don't know what there is to talk as far as like theory that was derived from that episode.
Actually, I think I have an idea, and we can actually just use that episode as a segue to go to our next episode,
Mhm.
211, which me personally, I think has a lot of elements of what you were just talking about, communicating with your partner and
Mm.
being able to embrace the love and laying the groundwork down. So why don't we talk a little bit about what happened there?
This was just during when I was 100% just a holy man. I was waking up, working on the podcast, meditating on what we were saying, what really mattered, what I needed to be doing with my life, going out and rollerblading to keep my body healthy so that I could really be receptive to what was going on, listening to my holy texts over and over and over. And so Melissa talked about things that are just true. She removed all that haze and gauze of erotophobia and shame and was like, this is just how it is. And it was a beautiful conversation where I don't know if this was the one or the other one where you said you felt like you were in a room with two titans talking in like a foreign language that was just like breaking your mind apart.
Was it that episode? I can't remember now.
It might have been the first one, but it might have been the brainstorm for this where we were talking about parasympathetic activation and you had just learned about the parasympathetic
Parasympathetic.
system.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that?
But dude, she taught me that alternate nostril breathing,
Mhm.
breathing into the third eye. Oh my god, that was so helpful.
Yeah, I've been using it from time to time as well.
And even she talked about, taking diaphragm breaths. Even if I don't have time to devote 3 to 5 minutes to do alternate nostril breathing, I'll at least take a deep breath in through my nose, feel it travel all the way up to my third eye, expand my diaphragm, breathe out. What's going on in my body? What am I worried about? What do I need to address? And then I'm able to just kind of move forward.
Yeah. And what's awesome too about the breathing exercises she was talking about in that episode was having been diving deeper into this running lifestyle that I've been involved in, focusing on my breathing has become a major part of my
Mm.
time. Running, not running. Breathing is something that you do every single second you're awake and when you're asleep. Unless you're dead, then I think you stop breathing.
Yes, that does typically happen shortly after breath uh, ceases.
And I think what's really important about it is like people don't pay attention to breathing. I mean, it's just an automatic function that your body does. But it's so powerful once you start paying attention to it, practicing breathing, controlling your breathing. Oh my God, the way you can allow yourself to relax, the way you can allow yourself to feel your body, like what you were talking about.
This is the start of consciousness.
Yep. You get real close and intimate with yourself, man. It's incredible.
And if you're here for every second, how many opportunities is that?
Man.
You're no longer restricted to the hour or 2 after work where you think that's how you gotta get everything done right now. If you're breathing all day, you're solving things all day. "Oh, man, I gotta get this taken care of later." "Well, I'm not doing anything now. Could I call them and just do it on the phone?" And you call and they're like, "Yeah, I guess that's fine."
Yeah, that sounds okay.
Then later you don't have a problem.
Yeah, man. Great episode. I love talking with Melissa. I hope that we can bring her back again. And I'm excited to see what she could teach us and teach our audience.
Amen.
Speaking of teachers,
Oh my heavens. We brought on so there was 1-5 into the forest,
yep.
and then there was 2-12. Son
Son
of
of
a
a.
Yeah. This is one where we started with the name
Yeah.
and then just said, "The episode's gonna be what it is, and this is the freaking title, man."
Dude, I fucking loved recording 212. That is some of the most fun I've had recording in a long time. And your mom, she had really sad stories to tell, really sad parts of her life that she wanted to express, but before we recorded, I knew the ending to her stories. You know, I knew where she is in life now and how she is and everything. So part of me felt a little sad, like to hear that she was hitting those areas, that rock bottom, right? But damn, I know she climbs out of it. So I'm captivated to hear her tell me how she did that.
Yeah.
And just in general, man, like your mom is always a great person to talk to. She's always one of the sweetest people I've ever met.
This episode was difficult on a couple fronts. One, mom was crazy nervous. Our brainstorm sesh, we had to like talk her off the ledge, convince her that she's just talking to the two of us. And as she relaxed into it, she opened up and was like, "Oh, snap, I am just talking to my boys. Like, it's all good." And then the day of, she was like, we're like, "Mom, chill the fuck out." She was like, "Oh,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah. I already dealt with
good
this.
point." And then two, as we've said, dad wasn't really around for my childhood and stuff, which was where the root of most of what I perceive to be my trauma, things that are hangups for me.
Mhm.
But mom was. So this, I knew how heavy and draining this was going to be emotionally. And I felt like a husk for a while because this is also my trauma. This trauma was passed down to me. So just like looking at the mountain, you just feel like collapsing and crying. And so the whole time I was just like, "Fuck."
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a phenomenal way to put it. And I didn't really register with me.
Thank God.
Yeah, because
I kept looking around and no one was looking at me like I was freaking out. And I was like, thank God I can
thank
freak
God.
out on my own
Oh God.
and then let people know later that I was freaking out the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it didn't register with me at all, man. And I was just focusing on the stories and having fun, but it didn't really register with me that, oh shit, this is also Aaron's trauma. It definitely 100% hit you completely differently than how it hit me. And God, man. What a fucking episode. What a fucking season, dude.
Yeah. This episode is one of the ones that when we have more zeros and more commas, people are going to look to this episode and be like, this is whatever Pulitzer Prize is for podcasters
Yeah.
level stuff. This is holy shit. Someone needs to give my mother an award for what the fuck she's been through.
I think it would just be a Pulitzer Prize. I mean, didn't Kendrick Lamar win a Pulitzer Prize for his album?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I agree though.
Comment down below.
Yeah.
Call to action. What's up?
Seriously, like send us an email or, give us some information. Like
Or
tell
the
us.
application form.
Yeah, we want to submit that episode for high art actually.
Yeah,
And we're serious about that too. So if anybody out there knows, just let us know.
please.
But yeah, man, once we are digging into those tens of thousands of listens and shit, I really think people are going to go to 212 and be like, what's this episode about? Oh, fuck, man.
And then the next one, oh,
Man.
it's just going to be 2.5 hours of people crying.
Yeah. 213, man. Find your people. We got to bring on the wonderful Amanda, and she got to tell us a little bit about how she had to climb out of her hole.
Yeah, she really took our slogan, "Be Your Own Light," and just reflected on how dark it was
Yeah.
before she let her light shine. And then she goes on to talk about, like, again, I wasn't anticipating this episode to develop into her talking about burlesque, but it did. And I'm so grateful that it did
Yeah.
because as soon as she opened up about that, she lit up. She quit being like guarded and hiding and was like, this is what the fuck is up, dude. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And what's really interesting too is at the time when this episode dropped, I had an old friend from the past reach out to me through our NSLP Instagram, and she was telling me a story about unfortunately she had lost somebody recently, and she was telling me a little bit about how she ended up having some barriers between her and her family, and it just felt crazy to me, right? Because we had just put out an episode talking about why somebody needs to put up those boundaries and how they manage to do it. And then somebody reaches out asking how. How do they do that?
And I have a slightly different takeaway where it wasn't really like you need to cut your family out. It was your garden is going to grow where you water it. So if you're watering something that's not giving you any return, stop doing that. You only have so much water in your pail.
Yeah. Aaron, have you ever been to a donut shop ever in your entire life?
Uh, I've been to a donut castle a lot.
Okay. You know, in this donut castle, how you can get a pepperoni roll. One has spicy cheese, the other has normal cheese.
I'm aware of how things operate in that castle.
Good. So, reason why I ask this is because I'm like the spicy pepperoni roll, and you're like the normal pepperoni roll. And I feel like it's just perfect.
You think you're the spicy pepperoni roll.
Yes, I do.
All right, guys, you guys are going to have to vote down below which of us is the spicy pepperoni roll. Oh, man.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think it's me.
B Will, C Willie, I need y'all to represent. I am the spicy pepperoni roll.
Brooks Martin, if you're listening to this, you know who's really spicy.
It's me.
It's fucking me, guys.
All right. So
We got to go from talking to Amanda to talking to her husband.
Dr. Green,
Yes. And
I'm a Ben.
this is the episode that I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I was the dumbest person in the room for that conversation. And I need to make sure I say this the right way here, but if you look at the people you surround yourself with and you feel as if you are slightly less intelligent or whatever than them, then you're probably in the right room. I know there's a better way to say it where people always talk about you want to surround yourself with people who are greater than you so you can rise up. That's how I looked at it, right? I'm sitting there talking to you and Ben, and you guys are talking about a whole different subject than I know anything about. I don't know nothing about Kung Fu. I don't know nothing about Ben beyond our brainstorm with him. And I don't really know anything about what the hell he's talking about, movement therapy and stuff like that, right? And you, on the other hand, seem relatively in the know about what he's talking about, especially when it comes to like the herbs and stuff that he had mentioned. And I was like, dude,
Well, he sent me some herbs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, I don't get any of this, man. Like, I don't understand what is happening in this conversation. And I was like, am I in the wrong fucking room? No, I was in the right fucking room.
I think this could go back to my philosophy of everybody I encounter is better than me at something. That doesn't make me jealous. I'm grateful for that. The thing I love about you, you feel like you're not where other people are. But from the outside looking in, I see how far you fucking come, and that inspires me. I'm like, bro, look at what the fuck Tim has been through. If Tim is still hanging with us, holy fuck, I need this dude in my fucking corner. And I need to be in his fucking corner. Again, when we talk here in season 3 with Bose, he talks about being in the village. That's not purely you receiving. That's mostly you giving. If there are 30 people in your fucking village, that means you owe 29 people. They owe the same to you, but you have to give to those 29 people because someone gave it to you. We're not trying to stay where we are. We're trying to collectively be like, how do we get to what's next? What problems are we facing and how do we fix them? If you're out in a supermarket and a child is freaking out and the parents like screaming at the kid, luckily we have friends like Mr. Chaz who taught us that they're in survival state, they're in fight or flight. And if the parents aren't dealing with it, that's because the parents are triggered into their hindbrains too. And again, he iterated several times in his episodes. It's not incumbent on you. You don't have to help everyone. You can choose when to give your effort. For me, because of who I am, that's all the time. I want to see how I can help every single person and how they can help me, honestly. So I want to walk up and be like, hey, man, see you're having a hard time. Can I offer some help? And if they're like, yeah, dude, be like, hey, do you want me to just stand here for 10 seconds while you walk down to the door where you can still see me and just take a couple fucking breaths? Come back. And if they're like, damn, man, for real? Because if they're ready, if I come at them the right way and they're ready for that, they'll be grateful for it. They're not going to see that as an attack of me saying like, you're a piece of shit. You don't know what you're fucking doing. Go take a lap. If they really take a step back and are able to compose themselves, they'll say, damn, no, I do need that. Yeah, man. His name is Kendrick from Kendrick Lamar. Be like, all right, man, what's up, Kendrick? What are you going through? It seems like you're freaking out too. Oh, you didn't get something you wanted? Damn, that's really hard. I wanted a bunch of shit today. And you see what I got? I got like 5 things. Yes, I'm Aaron Keith Ash, but I'd like to buy gas with change, please.
Dude, we gotta make that into a fucking like special limited edition shirt or something. I'm Aaron Ash, and I'd like to buy gas,
Buy gas with change, please. Help
man.
me.
Yeah, dude, it was a great episode, and I'm glad that you were able to kind of cycle in a little bit about what Bose taught us too, because
Mm,
I don't know, man, like something about talking with Ben, talking with Bose, talking with all these people that we've had the opportunity to sit down with and learn from. I constantly feel like we are traveling down this trail, and it feels great. It feels great, and the further we go, the more I'm noticing, the more it feels like it's not the same, but it's growing. It's, as Chad says, additive, right? Every single time we have a conversation, it's additive. We've already learned a little bit, and now they're adding more to it. And speaking of traveling down trails,
Oh, stand by. Oh, no. A revelation you just gave me, Tim. Thank you so much for that. Season 1 was us going from like Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. We figured out how to make tools and how to make fire. We figured out how to make it work in season 1. Season 2, we opened our eyes and we looked around and we listened. Season 3, to me, somebody tell me what that is. Is that alliteration? Assonance?
season 3 to me.
Alliteration? But season 3 feels like this religious experience to me where my aperture is open. Season 1, I was going from my hindbrain into my
Forward.
forebrain. Season 2, I was like perceiving what the fuck is even happening because I was finally perceiving it. And now season 3 is just like Python tasking from God. You shall seek the Holy Grail. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, let's fucking go, dude, because I'm rowdy. Like, I'm excited. I've got to get stirred up, or I'm not going to give a shit. Something I'm going to share with you and all of our listeners right now. I'm off Prozac. I ran out of Prozac a few weeks ago and I put in for a refill, but I haven't talked to my shrink in forever because they kept wanting there to be a problem. And I was like, there's not a problem. I'm just doing my best. And each day I'm getting better, but I don't mind store bought serotonin. Like, that's pretty nice. I don't mind the boost.
You're right.
And then when I ran out, I was like, do I need Prozac or am I using Prozac as a crutch? And yes, store bought serotonin would be much easier for me. And if I were working full time, I would need it, but I'm not. So every time I feel like laying down or, spiraling in that way, I have this opportunity to look back at our work or go back to the podcast and work on what I'm working on. And I realize how fucking important it is because I hear Amanda's voice. I hear Ben's voice talking, him and me shouting in cursive back and forth while you're like, sorry, what was that? Sorry, no,
Wait,
what?
go back.
Herbs can cure acne? What the fuck? Hold on. Tell me more about that.
You know, like the fucking in the cartoons where they're like pulling their shirt away, like like trying to fan themselves. That was me the entire episode.
Yeah. Ben and I are just like lighting everything on fire, and you're just at the bar like,
This is fine.
this is fine. For season 3, I very recently watched No Greater Love, the Mother Teresa documentary.
Mhm.
I cried like the first 20 minutes because you realize you're seeing a living saint. And like that was such a huge revelation because she talked about how like she saw the face of God in every single person she encountered. So, as you do to the least of my brethren, so you do to me. She realized that every person she saw, she had been commanded by God to go into the poorest of the poor slums to heal everyone. And she said, "I'll go wherever you send me." And he kept like, "Are you sure?" And she kept like, "Well, I said it, so let's go."
I'm already here.
Yeah, while you're in there, bud.
Yep.
Pat Dog Millionaire.
Look, I find it really awesome too that you said you feel like season 3 is like a holy experience. I feel like we're kind of embodying our catchphrase here about be your own light. We're shining a light. And, you know, that's kind of reflective in our season 3 logo. I mean, that's why we've added the little bit of brightness that's coming out. As the logo changes and adapts over time and everything, it's to represent where we feel like the show is going. It originally started off as darker. We didn't really have anything too different in our logo. We would update it with our tattoos as we would get them and stuff. And I really feel like we have reached a certain point now with season 3 that we have managed to. I know for a fact we've helped at least one person now. I know that for a fact.
Her episode.
I know that now. And I no longer have that imposter syndrome, or I no longer think that this podcast is pointless. Not that I thought that to begin with.
Or like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like I know I can now see the effects of us sitting here weekly and getting to talk and learn together. And dude, I fucking love that, man. I love that.
Yeah. I will push us forward to the AT, the Great Appalachian Trail.
Fuck, man. Kudos to Erica and Brian for successfully completing the AT. Look, if you don't know what the AT is and you go into that episode being like, what's that? And
They
then,
just hiked.
yeah. And then you learn that it's a 6-month hike. Dude, 6 months, man. You know what I'm doing in 6 months? I have no fucking clue what I'm doing in 6 months. If I started walking today and knew that I had to keep walking for the next 6 months up a fucking hill, down some ravines, sleep outside.
It's going to be raining 1 week, just the whole week.
Dude, the first, what is it, the 100-mile wilderness that they had to start in? I would have given up already. I'd have been like, that's good enough, man.
And people are elitist about that. They say that if you start in the north with the 100-mile wilderness, you're a sissy. Like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, what the fuck does that?
like, yeah, you can have a different medal that says south to north, and then
Yeah.
the other one's like north to south or whatever. But
That's like comparing somebody who completes their marathon in 4 hours versus somebody who completes their marathon in 5 hours. Who the fuck? You completed it. Unless you're actually trying to do competition level, dude, you completed the marathon. Like, let's all fucking celebrate that.
I agree 100%, and I love that story of it's not me versus you. It's me and you versus the problem.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing that Ben corrected me on in episode 14 was it's not I'm going to win. It's how do we get to where we need to be?
Yeah.
How do I use your capabilities to my ends or means?
You know what's incredible about you saying that? That it reminded me of Hyland. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I feel like Ben and Hyland and all of these episodes were saying a lot of the same stuff. And because I know for a fact Hyland has said something like that to me, to you, either in our recorded episode or in a video call or something with him. I guarantee you he has said something similar to that. And I can't remember
Oh yeah.
exactly when, but it's like I'm talking to the same person. Ben, Hyland, Chaz.
We're all saying the same
Melissa,
thing, man.
Matthew Orval.
And even Melissa knew about the lights at the end, which I'm still wondering who told her. In a phone call with Hyland, I asked her about that, and she said that she's probably just been there. She talked about how at the end, she said it flippantly, like, oh yeah, and if we just explode into light or whatever. And in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, as you get through it, you realize that that's what the psychonauts have found. And even in religious imagery across the world, there's the picture of Christ shining the white, red, blue light. And it's the joke about like Jesus shaming somebody for being French or like making somebody French. And I love that meme. That's a deep one for you. It's a deep cut. What's up, Eric?
Fuck, that's good. Fuck, that's good, man.
But as you go through the Tibetan book, we pass through the clear light transparency that most people don't recognize because it is like full enlightenment stuff. But most people hit the white light of that's what people in all religions is like, go towards the light. That's the fucking light. So she knew about it, and I was like, who told you about that?
Oh,
That's supposed to be a secret.
Where did you hear about that?
Who told you?
Yeah, somebody's sharing.
We have a
trade
mole
secrets
in the organization. See,
probably this podcast.
Yeah, shit. Who subscribed? Go over to our Patreon, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yeah,
we're on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh fuck, dude. Yeah, that's another major
215.
thing. That's the episode.
Nobody knows, but it's on YouTube.
It's on fucking YouTube, man.
Go look at the video. We have like 9 or 10 views right now on YouTube. Let's add a 0. Everyone who's listening, share it to your Facebook, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful episode where you get to look at Brian and Erica pass Poppy back and forth. And you get to hear her like burble with us.
Yeah.
And they're just telling the story and passing the holding Poppy for us. No, they know what their partner is saying when they reach out with the child. And that's a hard level to get to for a lot of people, but they did the fucking AT. If you have to tell somebody what you need when you're handing tent stakes to them, you're going to be mad. Especially when you're hiking through Rocksylvania and you've stubbed your toe on granite all day. What do you fucking think I want? Here are the tent stakes. Peg in the tent.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, my arms are kind of tired. Here's Poppy. You had her for 5 minutes. Now I've had her for 5 minutes. It's your turn.
Yep.
And they're like, okay.
Yeah, I even comment on that during the episode too, because it's so phenomenal to just watch them doing that and, passing off the child, their baby, and giving each other the break that they need. And it's like, it was completely nonverbal communication every single time, dude. And that just goes to show you, like, these are people that spent 6 months on a trail, nothing else but each other. And they came out the other end and got fucking married, man.
The Shawshank, how many hundreds of miles?
The Shawshank,
500 and 600 and
7.
500 miles is a long drive inside a car. 1,000 miles is too far inside a car.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, do you want to wrap it on up with the Shine 2?
Yeah, man. One thing that you and I have talked about a lot is we're trying to be better than we were. And one thing that I suck at, and I can admit it now, and I feel confident enough to admit that I suck at it. I'm bad with money. I'm bad with finances. I'm bad with managing debt. I'm not the greatest with it.
That's what the Shine series is about. It's you and me interviewing somebody one-on-one. That's another thing we're learning through the Shine series, Tim.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're completely right on that, Aaron.
I wasn't insulting you and saying you were bad at interviews. I was just saying this is a method.
No, because my brain was focusing on money and finances, and you said interviews.
I know.
And I tried to go, like, my brain, when I hear interviews, I immediately think of my job, and I'm just like I just fry out immediately.
I'm sorry I triggered you back into your hind brain.
Yeah. Yeah, that brings us to Shine too. My good friend Matthew Orval, financial fucking genius. And this guy did something that in this day and age in America, a lot of people would look at him and tell him he's fucking nuts. He completely eradicated his credit. He has no credit score. He has no debt. He doesn't encourage debt. Literally, when he goes to you can go to Credit Karma or whatever and view your credit score. His says something along the lines of no data to
No.
report. Null. Yeah, null. That's what he said.
Yeah. Because he's not plugged into the
Yep.
matrix.
That's
He lives
insane,
his
man.
life free and clear.
That's insane, right? Because like the American dream is rack up tons of debt and fucking, yeah, that's it. Actually, that's the whole
Well,
American
the dream
dream.
they sold.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, the American dream. I want to have a house and a steady income.
hmm
And they were like, what about all this other shit?
Yeah. Yeah, which if you boil it away and you cut out the fat and you just bring it down, the American dream is debt. There you go. Boom.
That's what they've sold us.
Yep, take that.
But our generation is realizing that's not where we want to be.
Well, that goes back to that whole concept of we're a tower generation,
Yep.
So Matthew comes in and tells us about the 7-step plan. Was it 7 steps?
Well, you could break it down into more or less, but it's 3 baby steps at the beginning, 3 baby steps at the end, and then kind of how you live your life. And
Yeah.
there are more tips and tricks that they
Yeah.
delineate later on.
Which is phenomenal because he comes in and he starts talking about all of these, how to start tackling this problem, right? And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the snowball effect, but it's, dude,
Snowball method.
yeah, I have actually like started implementing this and changing how my finances and debt are working. And I've started snowballing. And dude, oh my God. Like I feel so much better. Like I'm not out of the clear. I still got my AT to walk, right? But when I finish it, dude, I'm going to try and be like Matthew. He taught me something new, and I'm going to try and get to that point where I can get to that part of my life, that financial planning step where I just share my money with people. Not necessarily money, but if I didn't have debt, Aaron, I would have bought you that damn computer.
I know.
I'd have paid for the LLC, like all kinds of different things here, man. Like I can't wait till I get to a point where I can be like Damon, dude.
And that's, again, I think we're headed in that direction. We're waking up to the fact that we don't need all this shit. What do we need and how do we collectively get what we need? So I think that I don't think it's communism. I think it's communalism. I think it's living together and working towards what we need. So for us, since we're focused on healing, that's probably going to be a simple little community where we're focused on healing and we shine like a light so people who need healing can come find us.
I agree, man. I think one thing that can help a lot of people out there and that can kind of bring everybody to more of a communal mindset is just be fucking nice, man. If you see somebody who needs help, just offer a hand. If you got a parent who's having a really hard time with their kid, like Aaron talked about, or you see somebody and one of your coworkers forgot their lunch at home. Well, I have half a sandwich, man.
Or I found out that I had a bunch of spare coats. We've been looking at our clothes and seeing what we can reduce. And I was like, dude, we've got like 10 coats. And every homeless person I see panhandling is cold as shit. They're wearing like trash bags and like socks on their hands. And I was like, get together all the shit that we're not using and we're giving it away.
Yep.
So anytime I'd see panhandlers, like we'd pull over, put the hazards on, I'd be like, hey man, we got scarves, toboggans, coats. What do you need? And I even posted on our socials, like, send me whatever you got. Because if I see people who are cold, I'm giving it the fuck away.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to Matthew just really quick and give him a little more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we started talking about different forms of wealth.
Yes.
But yeah, man, Matthew, he is a very smart guy, and he's helped me a lot to start understanding what I need to do, and not just understanding what I need to do, but like he's told me some things. Like I have this collector's edition Dead Space remake thing that I got, and I paid like $260 for it or something like a year ago. And I opened it when I got it, and I looked at it, and I was like, "This is cool." And then I put it on a shelf, and I haven't fucking touched it since. I looked it up on eBay the other day. That thing is selling for $600. I was like, "Why do I have this? What do I need this for?"
Yep.
I looked at my collection of Magic cards, and I was like, "If I'm not gonna play with these, why do I have them?"
Yes. So one thing you wanted to talk about was what we are doing with our lives. And for me, in like 6 days, I'm gonna be waking up in Japan on my honeymoon. And my wife hit me up at the end of December and was like, "Hey, I need like a couple grand for the rest of what we need for Japan to pay for the house, to pay for the this, the that." And I was like, "I have a full set of heavy played dual lands. If you sell a full set of dual lands, that's 2,200 bucks right now." So I posted on one of the MTG pages and was like, "Hey, I'm selling a full set of duels. Hit me up." Had like 10 people hit me up that didn't go through with anything. But then one person was like, "Hey man, yeah, no, I want a full set of duels." So they sent me 2,200 bucks. It's like, "Hey baby, what you need?" 18, 1,900 bucks. Sent it right to her. Paid off some bills that had been lingering over my head. As you have more things, those things possess you. They live in your mind. I want a clear mind. I don't want to be worried about my money and my stocks and my this and my that. I want to worry about my garden. I want to worry about eating. I want to worry about how my best friend Tim's doing. I want to worry about Hyland because that's where we're headed next. We're headed towards compounding our wealth, which is our capacity to love and care.
Yeah. And I think what's really important that I'm taking away from what you said is the pushing away of the materialism, right? Like I've always been a materialistic guy. It's like I think it's something I
That's because we grew up poor.
yeah, like I just want shit, right? I want shit, but I don't need shit.
Nice shit.
Yeah, I want nice
Look
shit.
at these nice things that I have that I've never had
Yeah,
before.
like what again, dude? Like this Dead Space collector's edition. What is it doing up there? It's collecting fucking dust. And you know what? There might be a person out there who wants one of those for a good price. They'll buy mine, and then when they get it, they open it up and they actually fucking play with the stuff in it. Dude, well, that person needed it and wanted it, and they're gonna fucking use it versus me who was like, I'm just gonna buy this and waste my money.
Yeah. It would have more appeal if you hadn't opened it, right? Or is it
Um,
still sealed?
no, I mean I opened it. I opened it.
Okay.
It's literally just it's sitting on the shelf still collecting dust.
Yeah.
Like if I throw that in the styrofoam box up there and sell it for a much better price than I'm not going to sell it for sealed price, which is like 657.
But 500 or
Dude, I
400?
was thinking like 400. Like I could just put it on eBay for like 400. I paid like 250 or 280 or something for it. I'm thinking about just putting it on there for that. Like I get my money's worth out of it. I don't care.
I mean, if you get 400, that's half of my computer.
Yeah.
What's up?
It'd probably go straight to debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Ramsey's snowball method.
Yeah, dude. Sell all the shit that I don't need so this way I can pay down all my debt and
And
then
get the shit you want.
yeah, and then start fucking like going to sleep and cuz it's crazy, man, but finances it can stress you out so much and you don't even realize
So
it
much.
sometimes. Dude, like you have to go and fill up your gas tank tomorrow. You know that you have to go and get some food from the grocery store later. You know that you have your monthly dues coming up for fucking Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is. Dude, make your life so much easier. Just do you actually watch Netflix? Yes? Cool. That probably means you're not watching Hulu and Disney Plus. So why do you have all three of them?
Yeah.
I canceled Amazon Prime. Why? Because I can't fucking use Amazon Prime out here. I mean, I can if I buy from the Italian
But
Amazon
it's
store.
still inconvenient. I mean,
It's like $100 for the year or something. And like, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for that.
it's worth it stateside because you're not paying delivery fees on shit that you're getting that they're selling to you every fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
But here, once we have the commune and we have everything we need, I'll probably cancel my shit too. Don't sell me shit.
One thing that Matthew told me, and I don't know if he mentions it in the episode or not, because I've talked with him a lot about finances, so it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly when he said it. But one thing that he told me about was removing how easy it is to buy stuff off Amazon. So
Mhm.
he removes all of his cards from Amazon, And that's what I did. I removed all my cards from Amazon. So he has to think about it every time he goes to buy off of there. And it's worked, dude. I'm telling you. The last thing I bought on Amazon. Oh, okay. So I have automatic shipments for cat food. That's the only fucking thing that's on my Amazon that I buy, right? And I did buy one thing, and it was the running goos that you use for long distance running.
Mm.
And that's it. That's because they don't sell them in the fucking necks out here, unfortunately.
And dude, if you bulk ordered that shit, like I don't know what the expiration or shelf life is, but if it's good for like 10 years, like an MRE, you could bulk order like a case of 1,000.
That yeah. But yeah, man, like I made it much more difficult for me to buy stuff. I made it much more because I'm a spender, man. I want to buy shit.
Me too.
Oh, and another major thing too that came from that episode and talking to Matthew, the wife and I, we never merged our bank accounts. We were just like, no, why would we do that? Because like I would go in and I'd buy like small things all the fucking time, and then I'd be like, oh man, where did this $80 go? It was like over the course of 10 $8 purchases that I made throughout the day, right?
Yep.
Ever since I merged my account with my wife and she can see that stuff, she'd be like, you don't need anything from the next. What? Don't buy anything from the next. And I'll be like, you know what? You're right. That makes more sense. Dude, our lives have just gotten so much easier since we merged our banks. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't know if I ever want to do that with my wife or my significant other. First of all, definitely only do it if you're like married, right? Don't just do it if you're just dating or whatever.
And if it's going to be like the marriage,
Yeah.
if you're already looking for a way out, probably don't get more tangled up.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're in a position where it's like, if you and your wife did merge bank accounts and you're not looking at like any major problems coming from that, I highly recommend it, dude. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, like I would send Brittany money to pay for like her
This or that.
and it was silly. I'd be like, why the fuck are we doing this? Just use my money. Just here's your card that's connected to the bank account and just use it. Like, yeah. All of this goes into saying that Matthew, during my time as him being my friend and being able to record with him and everything, dude, it's been awesome. He's taught me so many things. I feel like I'm getting to a better place. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, no. A little better every day.
A little better every day. It's a whole lot better by the end of the year.
Into the week.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also still a whole lot better by the end of the year, too.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I mean, that's a
Well,
whole
in a
lot
year,
better.
we're in a whole new situation.
Yeah.
I'm the one who wrote the script, Tim. Come on in.
Yeah, you did write the script. You're the word guy. I just kind of exist.
No, you do a lot more than exist.
Well, hey, man, I do think that this has been a lot of fun.
Yep.
And I very much enjoyed being able to talk about season 2, a little bit about season 3, and, recap.
No cap.
Part 2.
I don't think we should go through too much season 3. Just talk about, I just want to touch on how excited we are for the growth. The logo change. Hope you guys love it. We're excited for the next run of shirts. And I hope that you've already placed your order for the OG shirt. If not, do it now. Do it now.
Do it now.
If you, like our first friend who came to us and said that they have reached out to betterhelp.com/NSLP, feel free to do that. If you need therapy and that's going to be your best option, do it. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to go through us. But if you need it, it's there.
Yeah. And my partner and partner of the business, BB's Coffee, now offers tea. They have jasmine tea and masala chai. Both are super delicious. So if you're a tea person, not much of a coffee drinker, look into some tea from them. Or don't. It's up to you, really.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, our Patreon is probably going to be the most direct way to support us. If you love what we're doing, if you want to help, $1 a month, whatever you think would be an adequate thanks for our work, we would appreciate it. And all the BS sessions are going to go on the Patreon.
And just one last thing that I want to toss in there, right? I want to see some of our friends, some of our listeners who have a little bit of artistic skill and want to draw and do some stuff. I want you to Do your own take on our logo. How cool would that be?
That'd be sick.
Have a couple of our friends or some of our listeners make a suggest or
Make some art.
make some art, man. Send it to us. We want to see it.
Whatever touched them.
And if we get a couple submissions, we'll post them on our socials.
Obviously.
You know what? Aaron and I will talk about it. Whichever one is our favorite, and the person who drew it, you're going to get a free t-shirt. Funded personally by me.
Yep. Tim will give you a shirt.
I will 100% give you your own tie-dye, Trinidad, NSLP, Be Your Own Light t-shirt. So, our artistic friends, draw a little bit, send in some submissions. We want to see them, and I'm very excited to hear from all of you.
And if you're doing it, I'm doing it.
Well,
I want to
yeah.
hear the wordsmiths out there. Not only those with artistic talent, because I can't draw for shit. My dad's the artist. If an episode touched you or reached you or helped you overcome something or realize something, let us know. Comment on our stuff. Send us a message. I want to hear, and I will buy you a shirt. Whoever gives me the best cry,
We'll talk about
I will
that.
get you a shirt, man.
Yeah, if you can make me cry.
That's what this season is about.
Thanks, all of you listeners, for giving us a chance, for subscribing, and for being on this journey with us.
And letting us reflect your light, because really that's all we're doing. This has been Aaron.
And Tim.
Huge thank you to Hyland Markle for this OG soundtrack. It fits us so well.
Hell yeah. Share this episode with a friend.
Or anyone who could benefit from it.
Leave a comment below if there's a topic you want to hear our take on.
All pertinent links can be found in the episode description.
Be good to yourselves and each other.
We love ya.
Peace.
Disclaimer.
Our podcast is for entertainment purposes and cannot be substituted for professional medical advice.
If you need help urgently, please call 911 or 988. If not, seek some professional medical assistance.
Maybe even at betterhelp.com/NSLP.